Sweet. All right, guys, we are back with another episode of Let's Talk Snowboarding, but today we're going with the two-plank edition. We're talking skiing with an esteemed guest, hailing from Bellingham a little bit, but also out here currently in Sandpoint, YouTube extraordinaire, awesome skier, awesome dude in general, and we're so stoked to have him on the podcast. And we want to welcome Clint Tosland to the podcast. Clint, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. You know, there's a point of argument there that the skis are wide enough nowadays that you could almost still call this Let's Talk Snowboarding.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, yeah, you came down from Sandpoint today. Let's kind of talk. Let's catch up because this is the first podcast that we have done since last spring.
Oh, wow.
Haven't been having too much time to get on the mics over the summer because been busy with guiding season up fly fishing on the river,
Totally.
which you and I did a little bit of a couple weeks ago.
That was so fun.
Which was so much fun. We'll get into that a little bit, but
Sweet.
How was your summer? What have you been up to this summer?
Dude, summer has been really, really busy. I did not originally plan on not posting anything all summer because I literally haven't posted since my last video where I hurt my shoulder. But I have just been so busy that I haven't really had time to dive back into content. So I'm getting excited now that snow's falling again, and hopefully we can move back towards pushing out some more videos.
Yeah, definitely. And, kind of seen a little bit. You've been working with the Ponderay Trail Alliance.
Yeah, Ponderay
bit.
Peddlers, POP.
Yeah, what have you been doing with them, dude?
So I got started with them, in like May or June, kind of early summer. And I have actually been leading a crew building mountain bike trails in Sandpoint.
Okay.
So we completed, I want to say like 7 new trails this summer alone, which was really, really, really fun. But a lot of hard work.
Yeah, definitely. And so you have you're a pretty prominent mountain biking background.
Totally. I didn't do it growing up as a kid at all, but when I moved to Bellingham is such a mountain biking mecca that when I moved there for my last 2 years of college, I just got thrown into it by all my buddies there, and it is a great activity for keeping in shape in the off season.
Yeah. And so what was your title with the Ponderay Peddlers?
I think it was technically crew lead. Me and one other girl named Lauren kind of were the 2 main leaders of the crew. I think we had like 11 or 12 crew members at our max. So a lot of times we would make a plan at the beginning of the day and then split up the crew, and she'd lead one team and I'd lead the other.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. And so is that mainly so that the trail, system is basically from the basin of Schweitzer down to Sandpoint, right?
Yeah, so it's basically from the roundabout down. There are some trails that are a little higher than that, but they don't get as much love, sadly. They're a bit older of trails. So we basically manage everything from the roundabout down, and they call it the lower basin is kind of the specific title for it.
Okay, sweet. Have a former guest that's really heavily involved into the mountain bike scene up there. Well, is Cruz.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he's with the Bike Ranch now. Bike Ranch has been open for a little bit. So did you get a chance to check out the Bike Ranch at all this summer?
I did not actually. Okay. I talked with them a lot about going out there. And again, like I said at the start of the podcast, I just didn't have any time. I was so busy that I just sadly never made it out there. But I know from talking to a lot of people that the Bike Ranch is super sick. I'm pretty sure Cruz does all the media. So I've seen a lot of videos and photos from him. Place looks awesome. I used to love living in Bellingham because we could drive up to Whistler, and the Bike Ranch looks like some like very Whistler-esque style trails.
Definitely.
So I'm excited to check it out. Hopefully I'll have a little more time next year and fit it into my schedule.
Yeah. So you mentioned Whistler. We all know Bellingham, really close to the border.
Yep.
You ever been into any big bike events up there at Whistler? You been to like Crankworks or anything like that?
I have been to Crankworks one time.
Okay.
Went and watched with some buddies. It was a lot of fun. Definitely not the best time to ride though.
No.
All the trails are bombed out. That was like one of my first times going up to Whistler. Right when I moved to Bellingham, and all the trails were bombed out. My hands were stuck like this for like 2 days, I feel like, afterwards. So in future years, we went pre-Crankworks just because the trails are so much better.
Yeah. So what's the bike setup right now?
The bike setup, oh man. So I have a We Are One Arrival. We Are One is a Canadian company that originally made mountain bike carbon fiber loops, rims. And they made bikes for a couple years. They just actually got bought out by I-9, so they're no longer making the bike, which is really sad. So I feel like I'm riding like a piece of history almost because they only made them for like 3 or 4 years. So yeah, we are rival 170. So 170 up front, 170 in the rear. It's got axis shifting. It's got Hayes Dominion brakes. It's like the perfect bike setup. And sadly, I've been thinking about selling it to buy a snowmobile. Because we're kind of getting near that season, and being out here in Idaho, I really want to have a snowmobile for some skiing access.
Yeah, it's not a terrible idea.
I know. It's the perfect bike, and I don't want to see it go, but sometimes decisions have to be made.
Yep. Sometimes you gotta switch some stuff out.
Totally.
Me myself, I'm in the market for a new drift boat.
Oh, really?
So yeah, the one that we went in a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's gonna be trying to get sold soon, and trying to work on a deal for a little bit more updated version. So
Dude.
yeah, it should that would help out a lot.
Well, as soon as you get that thing, give me a call. I want to come out.
Well,
That'd
yeah,
be
we're gonna
super fun.
Yeah, we were talking about it. It's October now, right now, and so the fishing is turned on a little bit, but it's still fairly slow in relative to like the rest of the season. So by the springtime and the early summer, we'll get back out there and we'll be on to like.
Yeah. Hey, I was still shocked. You still put me on some fish when we went out the other day. I was super fun.
We had one really good stretch for about an hour. That was really cool. So, and
I had that big guy I lost that, oh man, if I would have brought that in, I think that would have made my year.
Oh yeah, that was a monster, dude.
Yeah, that was a monster.
It was a crazy.
Oh
man. So you mentioned you went to school in Bellingham.
Yep.
Let's kind of talk about how you started to get into skiing. Where'd you grow up?
Totally. So originally I grew up in Olympia, Washington, about an hour south of Seattle. It's actually the capital of Washington, but most people don't know that for some reason. And so growing up skiing was going like, 2 or 3 weekends a year. I was lucky enough to be raised in like a skiing family. My dad's been snowboarding forever, like literally since it came out. And my mom's been a skier since she was like 2 years old. So they threw me in lessons before I could even walk. But I wasn't as big of a skier as I am now growing up. Like it was very much like a family, like weekend, like Christmas holiday type of event. And I knew the basics and I could ski, but I wasn't like a hardcore skier like I feel like I am now.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So what was growing up, what was like your home mountain? Were you going up to Crystal or?
We actually came over to Schweitzer a lot. So we had a friend that had a place in, he's basically like my uncle. You've probably seen him in some videos, Kimmel, the guy with the big handlebar mustache.
Yeah.
He has a place right in Sagal. So we used to stay there a lot. And then my grandparents live out near Newport, Washington. So we'd go stay with them for Christmas. So I'd ski Schweitzer like 2 or 3 times a year growing up from ages like 2 to now. But then when we were on the west side back in Olympia, Crystal a little bit, White Pass. We knew a lot of people that really liked White Pass.
Yeah.
Those were kind of the main ones I went to over there.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're a big social media, YouTube and experience in that. So you probably know heard of Chasing Sage? The snowboard
Sage.
Account.
Is that the one where he has the little daughter that's yes,
Yep.
I have.
So they're White Pass season pass holders. So that's they're from they live in Yakima right now.
Okay.
So yeah, that whole area is super cool out by Rainier and so Crystal, White Pass, Schweitzer, getting into it a little bit. When did you really start to like really get into skiing? Like, were you going like more often and more on a consistent basis?
Yeah, I'd say during college. I originally, when I graduated high school from Olympia, I came out to Gonzaga in Spokane. And I was really excited because I wanted to live near Schweitzer. I loved Schweitzer. I skied it growing up. I wanted to be there. The only problem that I found, and no hate to all the people that I was friends with at Gonzaga, because still love those people, but they were more interested in the college experience rather than going skiing. And I wanted to get up at 5 a.m. every morning and go up to the mountain. So I just had a really, really hard time finding my people. And that was one of the biggest reasons I left Gonzaga and transferred over to Western in Bellingham, was I was just having a really, really hard time finding my crowd of people that wanted to get up early and be first chair and be there all day and ski till bell and all that kind of stuff. And so when I transferred to Western, instantly found that crowd. The Mount Baker scene is like absolutely insane. And there were so many people my age that like wanted to get after it and wanted to go hard. And that's where my love of skiing really started to explode. I'd say it started in, the infancy was at Schweitzer. I had the desire, but the actual execution of it was when I got to Bellingham. And from that point on, every winter I've been hooked, and I just keep getting more and more into skiing as I get older, I feel like.
Yeah, you still go back to Bellingham.
Oh yeah,
quite a bit.
Oh
so
yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the college years. Like, what was what was kind of like the routine? You know, you'd have I'm guessing you have classes Monday through Thursday.
Yep.
And then was Friday and Saturday and maybe even some Sundays just reserved to get up to Baker and
100%.
hit it hard. And then
100%.
afterwards, you know, have some beers and stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. Only after I turned 21.
Yes,
but,
of course.
Which actually, when I transferred to Western, I think I was 20, so it wasn't too far off. But yeah, you know, the typical schedule, we got to make our own schedules, which was super sick. And a lot of times in the winter, me and my buddies would actually align our schedules. So we'd have like Tuesdays and Thursdays off. So we'd just go ski Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. When I first got to Bellingham, Mount Baker wasn't super busy. Weekends were still tolerable. Nowadays, that mountain has just gotten really, really popular, unfortunately, which I get. It's a special place, but I try not to ski weekends nowadays. But COVID was really the best schedule for us because all of our classes went online and they were all asynchronous. So you didn't have to like be online from 8 to 10 or whenever the class was. You could just watch the video later. So me and all my buddies would literally go up every single day and just ski till like 1 and then come home, do our classwork, go to bed, wake up the next morning, do it all over again. So we were skiing like 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week if the snow was good.
Yeah.
So that was super, super fun.
Nice, dude. So let's talk a little bit about like the vibe of Bellingham.
Yeah, totally.
I've only been there maybe once or twice in my life.
Okay.
But I've found that it's like a really, really cool town. What was it like, you know, living in Bellingham and being at like one of the meccas really for skiing and snowboarding for Baker?
Yeah.
And then, you know, at what point did you transition over here and move over to Idaho and start being here up around Schweitzer?
Totally. Like I said earlier, Bellingham has like a super, super cool crowd of people. Mount Baker culture is like super, super awesome. And I'm so happy that I got to be a part of that for a little while and still feel like I am a little bit. I actually even bought a Baker season pass this year, even though I don't live there anymore because I'm just back there so often. But Bellingham's a cool town. There's a lot of outdoorsy people that are just getting after it. I would say it's very similar to Sandpoint, how there's just a lot of people that love nature. It's just way, way bigger. And the size of Bellingham is actually what started to push me out of that town. There's so many people moving there and so many people that want to live there, which I totally understand. It has some of the best mountain biking in the world, and then it has Mount Baker right there, which is one of the top, you know, at least 3 mountains in Washington State. And so there's a lot of reason to live in Bellingham. But for me, you know, trying to tackle this, building my own business and building this, I hate the word influencer, but like building up that following and all that stuff, it just got so expensive that I was having a really, really hard time living there and figuring it out every month.
Yeah.
And my whole family was kind of starting to move this direction towards Idaho. I had always wanted to live here. That's the whole reason I went to Gonzaga was I was like, I want to be near Schweitzer. And so about a year ago, maybe a little more now, I've got the opportunity to move out here, and I honestly haven't looked back since.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's pretty tough. You know, it's kind of still, you know, the word has gotten out a little bit, but still it's pretty hard to beat, you know, all the mountains and all the activities, and you still have like world-class mountain biking all over the place.
Totally.
And, yeah, it's pretty cool.
And I'm helping build some of that mountain biking, which is super cool to be a part of.
That's awesome.
You know, there's been a lot of opportunities out here that have opened up for me, and that's why I love living here so much.
Yeah, yeah. So let's roll it back just real quick.
Yeah.
So back to the summer.
Yep.
Besides mountain biking, what was your favorite activity in Bellingham?
Ooh.
Like, what would you like just to chill and go do something? And also in Sandpoint, when you're like getting off work from working on the trails all day, what's your favorite thing to do?
Man, that is a really good question. The Sandpoint one I'm going to have to think about because I'm telling you, it was literally work, come home, work on Tosland Techwear, eat dinner, go to bed. Like I have been like head down just grinding this summer. I can give you the one for Bellingham very easily, though. I got the opportunity to go wake surfing behind a boat in Bellingham. It was like a little deal where I posted an Instagram post for them, and they let me come out with a couple buddies and hang out for the day. And it was so much fun going out on Lake Whatcom, which is right there in the center of Bellingham. And that's not something I get to do all the time, obviously. They had me out a couple times, but that was like a super cool, like just hang out with your friends on the water, sunny day activity. And I know there's a lot of that out here as well in Sandpoint. But it was just super cool to do it back in Bellingham. Sandpoint post-work activity, man, I don't know. I would say the thing I probably did the most after work in Sandpoint this summer was actually running. And I absolutely hate running. But one of my friends...
Me too.
Yeah. Right? I hate running. But one of my friends kind of challenged me, kind of roped me into doing a half marathon this year. And they were all doing it. We had a couple beers when we were talking about it. He had me buy the ticket, which was like $150 just to go run. I'm like, what? Isn't that crazy? And so that's what I did most times after work. I was like training for this half marathon because I was like, I paid all this money. I'm not going to like not finish it. You know, I need to be ready. So I did a lot of running, unfortunately, and I've come to actually kind of like it a little bit, but still not my favorite activity by any means.
Definitely not. I mean, I think we talked about that a little bit.
I think we did on the boat.
I quit running because I was like, oh man, if I'm gonna bust up my joints all winter long, jumping off stuff and just snowboarding, I need to have a more minimal impact type deal. So it's straight Stairmaster.
Oh yeah,
treadmill on an incline walking, and
that's
just
really good for you.
Yeah, and just like straight up, you know. Lots of legs and lots of strength training.
Have you ever done the backwards treadmill walking?
That's my
okay.
cool down.
So good for
every
your
day.
knees. Oh, dude, so good for your knees.
Yep. Yeah, actually, it was another YouTuber that actually was on the podcast a little while ago. Actually somebody I look up to a lot. His name's Casey Willax.
Oh yeah, I've seen him before.
Okay, so he put me onto that because I would see him like walking backwards on the treadmill, you know, on his videos and stuff. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, knees over toes gang, dude. It's so good for you, especially to train your alternative muscles for the winter season and stuff. So and and there's another benefit to it is it changes up your entire like mindset. And so it works like your mind in a different way to like actually be conscious of like your surroundings, which we have to be when we're skiing and snowboarding, right? So, So yeah, that was pretty cool.
But I can't remember what country it was. I want to say it was Japan, but it might have been another Asian country. But like a lot of the program for their older people is to walk backwards because it provides like a lot of stability, and they have like less. I'm not going to know the data here, but I think it was like talking about how they have like less elderly people falling and getting hurt because they do a lot of that. And that's what roped me into it. I'm like, oh my gosh, if this is working, like I'm going to try it out. And I've been doing that for a couple of years. It really, really helps.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It really helps.
Works a different set of muscles. So.
Totally.
That's awesome. So we didn't get to mention this, but we got, of course, we got Nishimoto on the producing side. Nish, how's it going?
Yo, doing super well. How are you?
Good, man. Good. So haven't been able to kind of catch up with Nish a little bit, but how was your summer, man? Let's talk a little bit about what you got into and any news or anything that's going on with you.
I've just been working on podcast studio stuff, working on promoting Hagedon Technologies, Ticket Goat, doing the whole, just a bunch of videos and making content for that. And then, you know, trying to get the studio up and going, and then we're actually going to have 2 more studios potentially down in the basement with the deceased.
The haunted basement.
The haunted basement, like we were talking about before we recorded.
Yeah. So there's like I'd say a 99% chance that that's happening. So we're going to have 3 studios here at Hagedon Technologies in the near future.
Yeah, it's gonna be some of that cool stuff, like the chill lounge vibe and all that kind of stuff.
Yep,
and some
leather
cool lighting.
chairs and all that jazzy vibes.
Nice.
You know?
So
Dylan, if this goes well, my only ask of you, if you have me back on another time, is we can do like a midnight podcast down in the basement, just to hear if we have any Caspers jump on the mic or anything. You know?
Oh man. We should just go there on Halloween night.
That'd be fun.
That might be too spooky for me. I might be scared.
Dude, so last night, the wife Chelsea, she was like, I want to watch a scary movie, and she had just bought a DVD online, and it was I don't know, you guys ever seen What Lies Beneath with Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer?
Oh,
maybe. No, I haven't.
Maybe.
Okay, so that one, I was like, I was freaking out, dude, because it was scaring me. She was like, you were being such a wuss. And I'm like, but we watched A Quiet Place
Oh boy.
You know, maybe like a month or two ago, and she couldn't watch that. But I'm
Really?
like, I'm just watching it the whole time. She's like, this doesn't scare you? I'm like, no. It's like, so it's like that difference, like aliens versus like actual ghosts and stuff like that. I'm freaked out by ghosts a little bit.
I watched the Blair Witch Project when I was like 14 with some buddies.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Dude, I don't know if you've seen that one, but I was actually terrified. It feels so real. They like filmed it all on the little camcorder, and I was like, this could actually happen.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
And you know, obviously it was just a film, whatever. But when you're watching it, you're not thinking this is just a film because it just felt so real. You know,
especially that one. That was like one of a kind. And
yeah.
it was like one of the first ones that really got you.
Didn't they like trick the actors or like whatever into thinking it was like real or something too?
I think they like went super off script or something. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes it even more valid, right?
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah,
Totally.
Paranormal Activity. That was another one. Did you ever see that one?
Nope.
Oh man, that one was pretty messed up. That scared me a lot. But yeah, you know, Niche, did you get to do a bunch of skating this summer?
Yeah. I think I was skateboarding like 3 days a week for a little while there, and then it kind of like dipped, and then I was doing 1 or 2 days a week, and then it went up again, and I even just caught one of those like comps, you know, at the Coeur d'Alene skate park, and I won some trucks for doing an Ollie Impossible over the Euro gap, and I was so stoked.
Yep, hitting it hard, dude.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Guys, Let's Talk Snowboarding is presented by Mountain Vibes. And Mountain Vibes was started in February 2016 by our CEO and founder, Justin Desmond. With the input of close friends, Mountain Vibes officially went live November 1st of 2017, and Justin runs it with the help of Mountain Vibes co-owner Emily Sorger and our core team. When Justin created Mountain Vibes, his objective was not only to create a snowboarding company, but also a family where passion and the love of snowboarding outweighed years of experience and where judgment is not tolerated. We don't like the cool guys at Mountain Vibes. Everyone should be included in Mountain Vibes. Passion of snowboarding is what brings us all together and makes us a family. Along with creating a snowboarding family, Quality Snowboarding Apparel, we are a nonprofit with an outreach program called Good Vibes and High Fives, where we take less fortunate kids out to snowboard. And I want you to check out our website, mountainvibes.com with a Z, and see what we're all about. We have everything from the charity to the apparel, and we're stoked that Mountain Vibes has presented Let's Talk Snowboarding over these last, 2 years. So thank you to Mountain Vibes. All right, cool. So, you know, you mentioned, you know, you do YouTube.
Yep.
But you're also a small business owner.
Yep.
And you make some really, really awesome outerwear, Tosland Techwear.
Yep.
And I kind of want to talk about like the behind the scenes of that, man.
Totally.
Like, you know, we were out on the boat and you're like, hey, hold on, I got an email from my manufacturer. I got to get back real quick. So, you know, being a small business owner, what's that been like for you? Some of the peaks and valleys of that and how everything's going with that.
Totally. I don't even know where to start with it. Tosland Techwear has been something entirely new for me to tackle. I feel like I have a lot of background in videography and media and music and that kind of stuff. I've been doing it since I was like a sophomore in high school. So the YouTube thing, the Instagram thing, the TikTok thing, although a little bit outside of my comfort zone because it was like actually showing up as myself online, it wasn't something entirely new to me. Tosland Techwear is and still is. And it has been super rewarding to set out to create something and then actually have a physical thing come back that like I helped design and create. That has been like a super rewarding process for me. And every time I like launch a new product or modify a product or change the design of a product or improve a product or whatever, I'm just super, super excited to do it. Because I feel like every day I'm like learning so much more about the process and how to do things, and I'm doing things wrong and fixing it and doing it right. And it's just like, it's been an entirely new beast to tackle that I've never even touched this entire world, you know? So it's been really fun.
Like the process you were talking about, how you have so many, you have all those jackets and stuff in your closet.
Yep.
I would say, what's it been like? Because I have a couple friends that actually make their own snowboards. They have their own snowboard companies from Mount Hood. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's
so one
sick.
of them is one of my really good friends, Chris Moore.
Okay.
And he pressed and made all his own custom snowboards called Habitual Snowboards.
That is sick.
Out of Welch's at Mount Hood. And so he was doing everything himself. So he was on that kind of side. So he would have like big time like parts and stuff come in, and all the materials that needed, and the presses and stuff. So he would have to go that route and go to like alternative places and search for all the gear he needed to press a snowboard. Where my friend George Sanditas, who is in marketing and is kind of the head of the gift shop and merchandising and everything at Timberline Lodge at Mount Hood.
Yeah.
He started Friday Snowboard Company.
I've heard of that one.
And
actually.
so he's gone through like the processes of like trying these different manufacturers, and all these boards have come back. He doesn't like them and stuff, so he's finally has a good relationship with a manufacturer in Japan right now.
Oh wow.
And so now that's taken him to the next level.
Yep.
And his snowboard company is getting some notoriety. I mean, the Angry Snowboarder on YouTube has reviewed his boards and just gave it, glowing reviews and all that stuff.
So sweet.
So, like the relationship that you have now, like if you said that you finally feel like you found, the right company, the right manufacturer that is bringing you back quality product and what you want to see.
Yep. Totally.
Okay,
totally.
cool.
Finally found the right people. And, this season for me, I feel like is going to be a big season of offloading things that I can, offloading responsibility. Last year, I quite honestly got burnt out by the end of the year because I was doing everything. I'm the one writing the script and the story. I'm the one filming. I'm the one editing. I'm the one designing all the stuff that we're manufacturing for Tosland Techwear. I'm the one shipping everything. I was wearing like so many hats that I feel like I was just spread really thin at times. And so one of the things I've reflected on this summer, because I've had a lot of time to reflect in the woods while I'm building mountain bike trails, has been that I want to offload a little bit of that responsibility. And I already have some videographers that I've talked with that want to come out and shoot. I really don't want to offload the editing because that's where I feel like my story comes to life and you see a lot of my personality. So that part I kind of want to keep. But like having somebody come in and help with shipping and handling and delivering and all that kind of stuff would be like huge. And I've started to work with some designers to offload a little bit of that design load from myself onto, somebody that can help me. So I just feel like kind of my motto for this year is like offload some of that responsibility, free up some of your time for like the activities that really, really matter.
Yeah, because it is a lot, man. Like with this podcast, like it's Josh and I recording everything, setting everything up, and then as soon as we get all that footage uploaded, it's a lot, man. Like you were saying, like scheduling the guests for a podcast, making sure everything's right, getting the time, just getting interest from people to want to come on to the podcast, and then going through the entire filming process, and then uploading the footage and editing, and then sending it out onto the platforms and YouTube. It's a lot of work, man. Yeah. And it's not getting paid for it. Yeah. So it's kind of like, oh man, you get just so tired, and then until you see the results, sometimes monetarily, you just get defeated.
It can be really hard.
Moments. Yeah.
It can be really, really hard.
So yeah, I understand that completely. And I had another experience. This was my first video premiere that I ever did was last weekend. Okay. On Saturday, and it was for, I think I told you about it, but the Doug E. Fresh. Yeah. Yep. So the Doug E. Fresh Bank Solemn at Silver last March.
Sick.
And just got busy over the summer and tried to chip away at it, and then just had to hammer out like 2 to 3 weeks straight of just like dialing it all in and editing my ass off pretty much to get that deadline met. But the reward was like seeing everyone's faces like so stoked when they saw it. And now we're gonna do another one, Ponderosa Springs Golf Course. We're gonna have another Pray for Snow party. Sick. And I'm hoping get both you guys to that.
Yeah.
And see the premiere. We'll
You have
have
my number, text me.
snowboard ski videos.
Yeah,
Love to come out.
We're trying to get a lot of people out there. There's going to be big raffles and stuff like that, and to support, like local youth groups and doing stuff like that. So starting to get into it a little bit more, getting that vibe back. When the snow starts to fall, you just kind of get that itch to start to create again, in my personal opinion, get back out there and film some sick shots. So.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I told you I wanted to do the podcast like right now, because the snow's already fallen, and I was like, I'm already getting back into video mode. I'm already putting up concepts. I'm already writing scripts. I'm already putting things together. So I'm excited we got this done, before skiing really starts this year.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to like maybe getting out there with you and doing some filming for you, so that I can contribute, to your channel and help you out and take some of that load off too. You say you're talking to videographers, but
well,
I'm always down to shoot some.
You and I talked when we were fishing.
Shoot some shots, dude. Yeah, get some good content. So
awesome.
And speaking of content, what was like? So when did you start like really diving into YouTube? Was that back when you were in Bellingham?
YouTube was the last thing I did. So YouTube, I've only been doing really since I quit my corporate job, which would have been February 2 years ago now. Okay, I believe. I'd have to check my LinkedIn, because that's the only way I know, is when I put like left career or whatever.
What were you doing? What was your career?
My career was, I graduated from Western with a degree in management information systems, which is basically just a fancy way of saying like business and coding, more kind of database coding, I would say, than like actual like SQL and that kind of stuff. But it's kind of a hybrid degree. And then after that, I went into cybersecurity consulting. So my original job was actually like IT auditing, which is going into companies, giving them reports. But I moved through a couple teams. I did IT reporting, I did SOC, and then I moved finally into cybersecurity consulting, which was really interesting. And I feel like I gave it my all in trying multiple different departments before I left. But there was just an itch that I always wanted something a little more than just sitting at a desk staring at Excel spreadsheets.
Josh, do you ever notice that when you buy tickets for a show, you get hit with all these hidden fees?
Yeah, for sure. I'm tired of being gouged with hidden fees.
Dude, I just discovered this, but now whenever I purchase tickets, I try to search for venues and artists that use TicketGoat.
What's TicketGoat?
TicketGoat is the greatest ticketing software of all time. With TicketGoat, promoters can expect hassle-free setup, zero obligations, and a revolutionary $1 ticketing fee for event attendees.
So we can say so long to hidden fees?
Dude, 100% zero hidden fees. With TicketGoat, steep ticketing fees are a thing of the past. TicketGoat's revolutionary ticketing software allows owners to create custom ticketing options, access to event reporting, and a digital QR codes for mobile ticket scanning, all with no commitments and transparent pricing.
Sick. That means event owners can keep their profits and ticket buyers can purchase tickets without being gouged.
Definitely. If you are in charge of ticket sales and want a fast and easy way to sell tickets, go to www.ticketgoat.com and join the herd today.
Sick.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and then you transitioned and you started up your YouTube channel.
Yep.
Okay.
So quitting the job and starting the YouTube channel happened right around the same time.
Okay.
Kind of when I realized I could take this social media thing full time. I called my boss, who was making plans for me to go to fly somewhere for like a week and do a big cybersecurity assessment. And I was like, dude, you're booking plane tickets right now. You're spending all this money. I'm leaving. Like, I got to be honest with you. I've got this cool opportunity. I'm going. So gave my like 2-3 weeks. And then right when that happened, I started making YouTube videos. And then it's kind of been history ever since. I feel like during the winter, I've been, that first season, I was making a video almost every day.
Wow.
And that was crazy. I was doing the Casey Neistat method of like, I'm just going to put something out every day, even if it sucks. Like, even if it's just me skiing in the rain and it's miserable, I'm going to do it every day. And I didn't hit every day, but every day that I skied, I made a video. And then last season, I loosened up the reins a little bit and did every Sunday, which I think is what I'm going to probably do this season as well.
Okay.
I might not do every Sunday, but I'm going to try and hit every Sunday.
Yeah.
It just gave me a little more time to plan things out, script things out, and actually put together kind of more of a story rather than just slapping something together and throwing it on the internet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Is that, and would you say like YouTube is kind of like your favorite format to use as far as like social and storytelling? Because I've always kind of felt that way. It's like YouTube's the best, like a longer format and cooler videos. So yeah.
YouTube's always been my favorite. You know, I started off on TikTok. That was the first one I did really. And then once that started gaining traction, I started reposting my popular TikToks to Instagram, and that started gaining traction. But my original start in videography was actually doing the news for my high school.
Okay.
And we got to make skits. So we'd get like a list of like, you need to hit one of these topics. So we talk about like, you know, the first 2 minutes of our video would be like talking about the sports games and whatever, like all the announcements you make.
Yeah.
But then we'd get to make a skit about whatever. Like one of them, for example, was our school got recycling and we had like compost, recycling, and garbage now. So we made like a little funny skit, me and all my friends, about, I don't even remember what it was about, but it was about the new 3 systems. And it was really funny, and it played in front of the whole school. And that was kind of my original start in videography. And I loved the long form content like idea. The fact that you could like build a script, build a story, build an actual like video that isn't just like people, you know, swiping through and trying to like grab their attention as fast as possible. TikTok and Instagram are great for like growth because you get a lot of new people seeing your stuff. But they don't get to really like know you that well, I don't feel like. And you're kind of just like, oh, that guy that wears orange hats that skis, you know? Like, you know, that's what people remember. And I feel like YouTube, you actually can like be yourself, tell a story, you have a little more time, you have a little more breathing room. And so the end goal for me has always been like making YouTube videos.
Yeah. Same, dude. Yeah. I think I started, I was like, probably like late elementary school.
Oh my gosh.
My grandfather actually gave me his camcorder, and it was one of those like big dogs, like the shoulder all the way up. And so I set it up. I set up a whole set in my room, and my buddy and I, Jonathan Bradbury, we did like the news. Like we did like a newscast. Like every time he'd come over to my house, we do like the weather. What's the weather doing outside and all this stuff. And then in middle school, we actually had, as soon as you got into 7th grade, you could take videography at our middle school, which basically was like the stepping stone into our actual middle school news channel. And it was like a professional studio classroom.
Oh my gosh.
It had like a green screen behind the main set, and so we had a host and a co-host.
Wow.
Like an anchor and a co-anchor. We had the weather person, we had producers, we had directors. And
in
so
7th grade.
And you would circle around, and you would get new assignments like every like 2 weeks.
Gosh.
So like 2 weeks you could be director, 2 weeks you could be the anchor, 2 weeks weather, like, and then you could be behind the scenes being like, you know, the scripter, the storytellers and stuff, and going out and being reporters. Like we'd check out cameras and go do like homework on the weekends, and it would be like finding stories around the local community and interviewing people. Yeah. So that's what really got me into it too.
Wow.
So
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Dude, we have some similar origin stories. Although your 7th grade setup was way more well put together than mine.
Yeah.
Mine, they just handed us a T3i and said, here's the list of stuff. Go figure something out, you know?
Built at a professional studio. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
Shout
cool.
out to, it was, our teacher was Mr. Steverson.
Okay.
And he was so passionate about it that he created, it was called KVIK because our mascot in middle school was the Lorna Byrne Middle School Vikings.
Okay.
So K-Vike. And we broadcasted like every single morning to the whole school. It was like a 20-minute program.
Oh my gosh. That's so cool.
So yeah, you would be like in class. If you weren't taking that class, you'd be sitting in class in the entire school and just watching us do the news.
Wow.
And reporting on stuff. So it was pretty awesome.
That's super cool.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So yeah, that's awesome, dude. So I feel like you and I kind of have like that similar interest of like YouTube and trying to put out some like really quality videos and content and stuff. Like
totally.
I kind of want to talk about like your setup. So we know that you're a Canon guy.
I am a Canon guy. I did explain that before the podcast, I feel like.
What model are you rocking right now for your camera?
I have a R5.
Wow, okay.
I got on a really good deal from a photographer that actually lived in Seattle. I'm not going to remember his Instagram, but he was selling it because he got a sponsorship from Sony. And so I got an amazing, like totally screaming deal on this thing.
Nice.
Or else I would not be shooting on that because it's a very, very nice camera. Yeah, that's kind of my main cam though, I'd say.
Is that the cam? So, personally, like I stumbled onto your YouTube channel and so I subscribed and everything because like, oh, he's
Thank you.
Sandpoint and like a local Pacific Northwest guy, of course, like, and you were making cool stuff.
Sweet, thanks.
So you're like kind of like your narration at your desk in your apartment. Is that the camera that you're using primarily for that? Okay.
So I've got 2 lights similar to the ones we have set up here that sit right over my desk. And they're super, super warm. That's why I look so like orange, I feel like, on some of the footage.
Okay.
I normally set that one up on a tripod. Sometimes if I have 2 cams, like sometimes you'll see me on the couch like playing guitar or something and it'll cut to a second cam. That's my 6D Mark II, which is my old camera. And I use that kind of just as a B cam. It rarely gets pulled out. It shoots like 1080p, which the R5 shoots 4K.
Yeah.
So I'm always, looking to use the R5 when I can. But yeah, those are my 2 cams I'm using there.
Gotcha. And then for like all your POV shots when you're out on the mountain.
Yep.
Are you strictly running GoPro right now? Or?
I am not running GoPro.
Oh.
I have a deal. Well, I had a deal last year with Insta360.
Nice.
So I've been using their cameras. They sent me the X4 or the X5 now. Oh man, this is bad that I don't know this. I think it's the X4 they sent me. I think they're on the X5 now. Honestly don't use that camera a ton. That's the one they wanted me to show to my audience and shoot videos on. So I did that for them for that. The one I use on YouTube the most, though, is the 1RS, which is the same form factor as a GoPro, literally the same size, can slip into a GoPro holder, but it shoots 360.
Okay.
And it has a swappable lens. So you can actually pull the lens off and put just like a GoPro lens on if you just want that flat footage. But for me, you've said you've watched my videos. You've probably seen how much like my cam will pan over here to look at somebody or pan over here. Like sometimes my head will be turned this way, but I'll be like looking over there, right? And so I'm able to do that same thing with the 360 camera, which I really, really like.
Nice.
So as long as they keep making that camera, I'm going to have a hard time switching because it just gives me so much flexibility with shooting. And it's so small that it's not obtrusive.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And so is that just one camera that you're using on the Insta360?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the 1RS. That's the name of the camera. It's just one of them.
And that's that thin profile.
That GoPro size one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the X4 is sick too. I've shot a lot of stuff on that, obviously, that's been on like Instagram and stuff like that. It's obviously way better quality, way better battery life, way better audio. Like everything's better. It's just not that small form factor that you can just like sneak onto a helmet and it's not in your way.
Yeah. I watch a lot of Ryzen Alpine.
Oh yeah.
On YouTube. So he's a big 360 guy too. So
but he's got the X4 or X5 now, and that's the big one that looks like you have the unicorn crown.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But he's a silly dude.
He is a silly dude. Doesn't he like give people hot sauce? Isn't that like his
That's his thing.
Stick?
He has his own his own brand of hot sauce.
So funny.
That's his thing. Yeah, everyone's got like their niche, right?
Totally.
Yeah, their own vibe on YouTube, so that's cool.
Totally.
And then you've done some pretty cool drone work too. And you actually did a YouTube video just showing your drone in some of that side slack country.
Yep.
Outside of Schweitzer. What drone are you rocking right now?
Yeah, so I have a Mavic. No, it's not a Mavic Pro. It might be an Air Pro 2 or a Mavic Air 2 or something like that.
Okay.
And that's kind of that stable tripod-y kind of one that I use. It's a lot of my like opener shots that you've seen, although I haven't shot all of the drone shots that you see on my channel. Some of them I've actually paid people for or got clips from other people or whatever. So not all of them are mine. But the one that was in that video that you're talking about was actually a Rotor Riot build that I bought when I was still living on the west side. I bought it from a guy in DuPont, actually. And so that's an FPV drone. So that thing will go like 100 miles an hour.
That was crazy.
And it'll fly upside down if you want it to. Like you can there's no control, like there's no, I don't know what you'd call it, but there's no like limiting factor with that drone. You can do quite literally whatever you want. And that was really interesting to learn because I'm so used to like DJI Mavics and Airs and stuff like that, where like if you get in trouble, you just let go of the controller and it just like starts hovering. If you let go of the controller with the FPV, it just falls out of the sky. It's like riding a dirt bike. Like you're constantly like on the throttle, like tilting it. And if you go the wrong direction, you have to like correct. You know, it's like it's a very stressful thing to fly, but it's very, very rewarding when you pull it off.
Yeah.
Like you saw in that video, like it's just like so gorgeous, and it doesn't compare at all to something like a Mavic or like an Air.
Yeah. Well, that was a very cool video.
Yeah,
how
thank
fast
you.
That thing was rocking.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, whoa.
I'm hoping to film some skiers this year, or maybe even some snowmobilers. I went to that Coeur d'Alene Core Freshies showing.
At Vantage Point, or
yeah, at Vantage Point actually.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a super cool event, and I talked with those guys a little bit, and so hopefully maybe shoot some FPV for them. That would be really, really cool.
Yeah. And did they give away a snowmobile that night?
They did.
Oh my gosh.
That's like 90% of the reason I was there. I entered that raffle. That thing was sick.
Yeah.
That thing was super sick.
Was it a Skidoo or a Polaris?
It was a Polaris, what was it? Like a 2024 Axis 9R. It was sick. And it had like a custom wrap. They had IPAC logos everywhere on it because IPAC got all the donations.
Yeah.
But I think they raised like 40 or 50 grand for IPAC at that event.
Okay.
Which like, dude, that's just so
So
awesome.
the IPAC boys were there.
Yep.
So I'm guessing like Sean was probably there. You know Sean?
I don't. I
Sean
met a
Myers?
guy. No, I met a guy named Larry that works for IPAC.
Okay.
But I don't know a Sean.
Sean is like Josh. What would Sean's title be up at Schweitzer? Head of marketing.
I think he's director of marketing.
Okay.
Oh, is this Sean? Last name starts with an M?
Yeah.
I have met him before. I've talked with him a couple times about doing some videos at Schweitzer, but
They're pretty locked down.
They are pretty locked down. Totally.
Definitely. Yeah, dude. So as far as like, you know, you kind of talked about like the snowmobile, you want to get out into the backcountry a little bit.
Yep.
I'm guessing you probably already have all your setup. You got your beacon shovel probe.
Totally.
All right. Got
Yep.
what's the beacon rocking? BCA beacon?
Yeah, Tracker 3.
Sweet.
I have an old K2 probe because, I mean, probes have been the same forever, it seems like. So it works super
Not
well.
gonna change much.
No, and it's super light, which I nice, and it has the pull through, so you can get it together super fast.
Okay.
Some of the newer ones have like a different system that confused me, so this K2 one's super nice. Yeah, I have Avalanche bag, thankfully enough.
Cool.
I got a super good deal on one, and then was able to warranty it through Black Diamond. So I got like basically a brand new Avalanche bag that I take out with me, which is super nice. And then I just got this last season at the end of last year. I got a really big discount on Moment skis. So I got some Moment Deathwish tours.
Sweet.
With the Moment Voyager bindings, which I know you're a snowboarder and this probably means like nothing to you. But
I started out skiing. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was listening to a podcast on the way here and you were talking about riding ski blades. We need to dive into that.
Back in the day.
We need to dive into that a little bit. That's crazy.
Those
dude.
were fun, man.
That's crazy. But yeah, it has the Moment Voyager bindings on it, which is just like an ATK free raider. So it's like a bomber, like free ride backcountry setup. And I got to take it out a couple times last season, and I'm super excited to get on it more this season.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about because, you know, working up at the ski school for as long as I did and stuff. So you kind of become accustomed to like the skiing lingo,
Totally,
and everything, and seeing their gear and like kind of learning what they use and how they go through everything too. It's a little more entailed.
Yeah,
and you got to get your settings right and.
Totally
Certified actually.
Yeah.
To be able to like teach on skis up at Schweitzer.
Oh really?
Yeah, you got to go down to the tune shop and they have to set the DINs right setting and all this stuff so that you're safe out there. So
makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I know. And like you were talking about, I tried to snowboard my first time.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Really?
And my mom was in a ski lesson down at Mount Ashland, where I was growing up. That was my home mountain growing up, and. So she did a whole day a lesson, and so I took a half day in the afternoon with her because in the morning I couldn't even snowboard.
Oh my gosh.
And so then I started to slide, and so I skied for probably, I don't know, like maybe 3-4 seasons.
Oh my gosh! I had no idea.
Something like that.
What brought you back to snowboarding then?
You know, I kind of stopped when I when I started going to college.
Okay.
I just kind of stopped because it was something my family and I did together all throughout that time. And then once I got to college, which was funny because I started out going to college in Ashland at the base of Mount Ashland, but I just didn't really go anymore. I was just kind of more into I was really into like basketball and just like just doing stuff like college stuff.
Totally.
And then going to University of Oregon, the closest hill was like Willamette Pass, and I just really wasn't interested at that time. Just kind of, you know how it is, like chasing girls in college and having fun and going to sporting events and all that stuff. So,
especially at U of O, there's no shortage of sport events that you're winning to go to.
Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that was right when Chip Kelly had taken over as the head coach. And so that was like kind of a crazy era to go to football games, and the basketball team was still pretty solid, and it was just a good time.
Totally.
Have lifelong friends from that. But it was really when I got up to Portland.
Okay.
I just started going up to Hood. I would go to Meadows or Timberline usually.
Sick.
And go with some friends that, you know, were from Southern Oregon that had made their way up there as well, that we all used to kind of go together. So I went with them. And then I can't remember what it was, but I remember what it was. It was one of my mom's really good friends back when she worked in Southern Oregon at the Oregon Caves for the U.S. Forest Service. One of her friends from back in the day, he was a ski host at Timberline.
Okay.
And so we met one time, like my mom came up to visit and we went out, and he was just talking about it. I was like, that sounds cool, man. Like you summit mountains and you ski host. He's like, well, do you know how to like ride? And I was like, yeah, I snowboard a little bit right now. And because I had just gotten back into it and I wanted to try snowboarding again to challenge myself. Yeah. And he was like, why don't you become a host? Then you can go ride when you're up there and you get free passes. And I was like, okay. So I did that. And
was that at Meadows you were a host, or at Timberline?
At Timberline.
Okay.
Yeah, Timberline. And then I transitioned into instructing after a few years.
Sick.
And so I was an instructor at Timberline for five, 6 seasons.
Oh my gosh.
And then we moved up here and worked at Schweitzer. And so I've been kind of working at the mountain working at the mountain 10 to 12 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, every season. So
wow.
And last season was the first season that I didn't work at the mountain.
And how was that? How was that experience after working for the mountain for so long? Yeah, not looking back?
Nope, just got to go when I wanted to, and just had fun and just kind of started creating relationships in different areas of the business and the industry. So doing stuff with Ski Shack and videoing and creating content, and then doing the podcast and working with the nonprofit company that I've worked with for a while, being the president of that for Mountain Vibes.
Yep.
That's a whole nother thing that's super rewarding, and get to pay it back. And yeah. And you know, when I get to go ride for myself, and get to meet up with, I see, you know, the homies up there. I see Josh up there, met you up there
a lot of times.
Yeah. So being up there is cool, just to be free again and, you know, just go ride. So
it's actually one of the reasons I wanted to come on your podcast, was seeing you up there so many times, giving back to the community, like filming people or having people on your podcast and stuff like that. I'm like, this guy just gives it all back. Like, I want to be on his podcast. This would be super fun. So
and I appreciate that, man. Yeah. It's always, it can be tough sometimes to rope people in to get to talk and stuff, but.
Well, you've been working on me for probably 8 months now. I think you brought it up right when I moved to town. So it's been probably almost a year, maybe.
I was like, this guy would be fun to talk to, man.
Yeah.
Dylan's always trying to get everyone on.
Yeah.
Trying to.
Well, happy to be here. So thanks for having me. This is great.
I really do appreciate it, man. And, you know, I kind of wanted to circle back. What's next for the Techwear, for Tosland Techwear?
Yeah.
Because, you know, you showed me. Guys, I want to talk about a new sponsor for Let's Talk Snowboarding, which is the Ski Shack in Hayden, Idaho. Ski Shack is a local family-owned and operated ski and snowboard shop located in Hayden, Idaho. They specialize in sales, rental, and repair, and they opened in 1976. That's going on 50 years up here in North Idaho. They have been offering a skiing and snowboarding to North Idaho and beyond for that much time, which is crazy. One of the oldest ski shops in the entire state. We appreciate everyone at the ski shop for supporting Let's Talk Snowboarding. So go in there as soon as possible and get yourself dialed, whether it be getting a fresh tune-up for your board or skis, or grabbing some new gear, because they got all the best in outerwear and also in boots and bindings, boards and skis. So head on over to Ski Shack, located at 9437 North Government Way in Hayden, Idaho, and have some fun picking out some cool stuff. kind of like the items this season that you're going to be throwing out there, and what are you stoked on?
It's a great question. Also, if you want to ever test out your jacket, put it on and jump in the shower. It'll beat everything off. I swear.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Oh, I might have to get one of these jackets.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
you know, there's a lot of rain up at Baker, and I have a couple guys that I sponsor, a couple homies, and they have skied in the rain, and people will be in other kits and be totally soaked through, and their Tosland Techwear stuff will be like bone dry. So I'm super, super proud of that. Not to self-plug myself here, but I'm going to do a little bit of that.
Yeah, I've always been like a big, just a straight shell guy.
Totally.
Pre-thin jacket.
Totally.
And then layer underneath, so.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of these, like, I hate to call it like influencer brands because I don't think of myself that way, but that's, I guess, what it is, are like all like super thick layered, or they have like down built in, or they have a hoodie built in, or whatever. I feel like there's not a lot of just like shell pants, shell jacket, like the type of stuff Arc'teryx and North Face is making. And it's kind of surprising that there's no like small businesses that are doing the shell stuff. Because I'm the same way as you. I'd rather have a shell and like put layers on under depending on what the weather is for the day.
Yeah.
But sorry, we totally went off track here. Getting back to your question, what's new for this year? So V2 of Outerwear is coming out, which is going to be super sick. I have 2 new colors coming, and I've changed some things slightly. I don't want to talk about it too much here, but I've changed some things slightly. The biggest of 2 that I will share is, first of all, I've added an eye logo. It's similar to a tattoo that I have onto both the jacket and the pants. And I think it just gives a really cool, almost like secondary logo. I feel like a lot of brands have like a logo that's their name, but then they also have a logo that's like a lion or a tiger or whatever. And this is kind of that secondary logo for me, I think, moving forward. The other big thing is the material has been changed from a poly blend to a nylon. So it's not only thicker, but it's also heavier, which the one thing I heard back from a lot of people in the V1 was that when you're skiing really fast, it was really light and it would sometimes like flap, which obviously isn't the end of the world. But moving forward, I'm really excited to have like a thicker material that sits more on your body, kind of like North Face or Arc'teryx or those kind of brands.
Sure.
So that's for the outerwear. That's kind of what's going on. So I will have 2 colors in that. One's gray, one's black. They're super, super sick. I'm super excited to share photos of them as soon as I can. And then the other big thing is going to be sweatshirts.
Sweet.
So the same sweatshirt I'm currently wearing, I'm doing another kind of version of it. I promised people that I would never release this sweatshirt again because it's the Founders Edition. So I only ever made 100 of these, and I'll never make them again. But I'm doing a similar hoodie. It's kind of the same blank, just completely different design, and that will be in black. And I made a super, super cool design for the back that I think kind of gets to the essence of what kind of Clint Tosland, the whole brand, is about and why people like watching. So really excited for that. I also have my hats. I still have a bit of beanies left over from last season, so I'll have some of those. I also have nylon belts that have a magnetic buckle, which I'm super excited about. I got those at the end of last year, and I was wearing them in some of my videos, but I just didn't list them on the website because it was like March when I got them. So those will be launched, which is going to be super sick. Trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing, because I will be listening back to this podcast and kicking myself if I missed any of my products. I think that's everything, though.
Nice. And then are you, is when someone, starts like a brand or an outerwear or even soft goods, you're always kind of looking for, prominent riders out there to rock your gear.
Totally.
Is that something that's like kind of at the forefront of your mind, kind of local kids or anything like that?
Yep. I talked about that last year. I really want to give opportunity to people that, maybe similar situation to me. They didn't grow up in like that free ride competition scene where they already have all these sponsors looking at them, but they're like, they love skiing and they want to do it all the time. I'd love to give like, promotion to those types of people.
Sure.
So this season, I'm definitely looking for people. I already have a few people that I sponsor from last year.
Nice.
So we'll be moving forward with that team as well. And hopefully we're going to put together a little project with those people from last season, which I'm super excited about. But yeah, definitely looking for some new athletes. I'd love to get a couple local reppers up at Schweitzer in my stuff, just so there's a bit more visibility on that.
Nice.
That'd be really, really cool. Oh, and before I forget, there was one more product. There's a t-shirt, actually.
Oh, cool.
And that's what I'm maybe most excited about. It's like, have you ever worn a Carhartt t-shirt?
Yeah.
The super, super thick ones? It's like that. And it has this embroidered logo here, and then it has another design similar to my tags that I make on the neck tags, where it says like instructions for use find mountains, all your best friends, too much caffeine, ski board till you can't walk.
Sweet.
So like that kind of just like fun kind of gear you can wear and up at the mountain, and it'll start a conversation because that's the kind of stuff I love.
Nice. Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it, dude. Well, I think we're going to start getting into some hot takes, but before we do, Hot Takes is sponsored by Ski Shack. Ski Shack has been local, family-owned and operated since 1976. Go in there today and get yourself dialed, whether it's on a board or skis. Ski Shack has what you need. And visit them at 9437 North Government Way in Hayden, Idaho, and get yourself dialed out. It's time to
Oh boy.
bust them out, man.
Oh boy.
You ever done one of these?
I have never.
All right.
I have never. I'm a
All
little
right.
scared.
So it's a snap of the middle,
Okay.
and then I would give it a walk.
Don't like.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Don't
okay,
pull
okay,
a Zeb,
okay.
Don't pull a Zeb pal and
Did he
just
do that?
try to sniff it right into your brain.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that'll
okay.
get you. That'll get you nauseous. I
Oh,
feel
God,
like.
I don't want to bump the mic here. Okay.
Yeah.
So you said crack it.
Yeah, I'll do it first and kind of
Okay.
show you,
Okay.
and then we'll cheers it at, and it's gonna turn red.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, look at that.
Give it a little.
Woo!
Yeah, man. There we go. We're back, baby.
Wow.
Woo!
That'll wake you up in the afternoon.
It will.
That opens up your sinuses.
It does.
Why is it kind of nice though?
It is.
I kinda
It
like
is.
it.
It would definitely is something that alerts the senses, dude.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You weren't awake before. You
Okay,
are awake.
Before we get into hot topics, I got to show you a Clint Tosland classic here. This is called the Kickstart. I'm wondering if you're going to be able to see me if I stand up.
Okay.
Let's see.
We can move the camera around.
Oh, you can still see me. Okay. This is called the Kickstart. You're welcome to steal this, by the way.
Nice, dude. Ooh, man.
Wow, I need a little water after that.
Yeah, we're getting into it now.
I'm feeling weird. God, that really opens you up.
Yep, it alerts the sinuses for sure. Definitely does. All right, man.
Hot topics. I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay. First off, we're gonna do some mini Schweitzer hot takes.
Okay.
Since you are a Schweitzer rider now, Schweitzer local. Okay. Favorite spot to eat at Schweitzer?
Poochies, nachos, easy.
Okay. Same thing to get a beer.
Well, yeah, you have to get a beer when you're at Poochie's.
yeah, for
normally,
sure.
normally a pitcher because you have like 4 friends there. But if you're alone, I guess you just get a
See,
beer and
I think
nachos.
I think you're against Josh and I. Josh and I, we are Powder Hound, loyal to our die.
I love Powder Hound, and it's a way better deal. I will say that.
That's
way
true.
Way better deal because
Yes.
you can get a PBR for like $4 and a slice for a couple bucks or something like
Yep,
that.
yep.
Way better deal. But the Poochie's nachos, oh dude.
They
they're
are
so good.
delicious,
That pulled
yeah.
pork and the barbecue sauce on top. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Yep,
it's
it's good.
Yeah, it's always a toss up sometimes. You know,
Totally.
If you're not feeling pizza, that's definitely where you want to be.
And I mean,
Go
I've seen
talk
you
to
in
Aaron
Poochie's
a little bit, yeah.
I've seen you in Poochie's more than once, so
Oh, yeah.
I know you're not only going to Powder Hound.
Oh no.
Okay.
It's it's if I want pizza, I've said this many years since I moved here. I've been on the search for good pizza throughout Coeur d'Alene and North Idaho, and Powder Hound by far is the best pizza in the entire region. In my opinion, I just really like their pizza.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Hot take question for you off Powder Hound. Do you like the in-town location better or the mountain location better?
I think the in-town location is super cool. Last year, I went in there for the first time for a video premiere that Austin Viz was doing up there.
Yep.
And so that was really cool. Saw all the homies from Sandpoint, saw
Sweet.
Steph and all that stuff. And that was really cool. Got a slice. Been in there with a buddy to Marty once, but there's just something about the one at the mountain that you just walk in and whoever's working is like, oh, what's up? And they always kind of know who you are and
Yep.
everything.
Yeah,
And
it's easier to know everyone on the mountain.
yeah. And Ben, what's his wife's name again?
And Jeannie.
Ben and Jeannie, they're just always so nice and super. And they're always working up there, so
Totally.
you always see them. So
And they
but-
taste better on the mountain. It might just be because you have all those emotions running because
Yeah.
you're like doing the best thing ever. You're, either skiing or snowboarding, but it for some reason to me tastes better.
It
up
always
on the
hits
mountain.
nice too because I'll get up there and I'll ride as hard as I can.
Yep.
And then it's always almost perfect timing because they like Powder Hound, they open at 11. Well, Pouchies, they do the same kind of deal.
Yeah.
So you ride really hard, but that Powder Hound slice is just enough. One slice doesn't weigh me down too much. Get enough carbs to go back out there and go out for the rest of the day.
Totally. And you get the early lunch before all the people crowd the lines.
Yeah, it's always like the locals.
The key.
That's definitely on a weekday too. It's it's like the young kids that are park riders and stuff. They're always in there right away because they know like you don't want to get there right at the lunch rush. So
totally.
Beat it, then go out and no one's on the mountain.
Yep.
During lunchtime,
Get
and you
an
have
hour
like
of
an
solo
hour
riding.
or two, and you're all by yourself. So, and then once everyone starts to come back, then that's time to go home.
Totally, beat the rush out of there, right?
Yep, just beat the rush all day.
Yep.
What's your favorite groomer at Schweitzer?
God, that's a really good question. I think Styles is iconic.
Okay.
Just because of how steep it is.
Yeah.
I brought some friends out this year to come visit me from Bellingham and ski out there. And like me and my buddy Wyatt, who my buddy Wyatt grew up out here, we were both like, you guys have to ride Styles because it's just like so unique. I don't know if it's my favorite groomer. I would definitely say Quicksilver ranks up there just because nobody's on it and it's super wide and there's always a couple little like off-piste jumps you can hit. Yeah, those would probably be the top two, I'd have to say.
Okay. Favorite run for powder?
Oh, I'm not going to give away all my secrets.
You can do a main run. You don't have to say.
That's true. I love riding off the T-bar. That's always good. There's never people out there.
Yep.
Everything before the T-bar is obviously super good. I'm always looking for like a hard terrain because that's what I'm used to at Baker. Like they have just gnarly terrain. And Schweitzer's just kind of like two big bowls. Which is awesome, but there's not a lot of like chutes and couloirs and all that kind of stuff up at Schweitzer, at least not as much as Baker. So I feel like I'm always looking for that kind of terrain. I'm trying to think. I feel like one of the sleeper picks, and I'm not going to remember what the name of the run is, but you go up off the triple and then take a right, and it's like basically the end of that goalie where the Great Escape comes down and the triple comes down. It kind of flattens out in that one spot. There's a tree run there, and you get onto like basically you're right next to head wall when you pop out, and that is super super fun. I feel like that's a great spot for some powder.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to talk to you about a new sponsor that we have. So, big shout out to our friends at Fine Brewed Cafe in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Whether you're gearing up for a powder day or winding down after a long ride, Fine Brewed has you covered with craft coffee, legendary mimosas, and a killer vibe. They're all about fueling adventures, connecting the community, and keeping you caffeinated for whatever the mountain throws your way. So next time you're in town in Coeur d'Alene, stop by Fine Brewed on Sherman Avenue, grab a cup, and keep chasing that stoke. Very cool, man. Okay, so hot takes.
Okay.
Who are your three favorite riders? And they could be male or female. And I'm sure we're gonna be talking skiers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Three favorite riders, just like anybody.
Yeah, anybody growing up all the way up until now. You'd be backcountry homies, pro riders, just somebody that you know that is sick that nobody knows about.
That's a big question. Top of the list, first person that comes to mind, Candide. Like he is the person that got me that infancy stage of like being excited about skiing that I was talking about at Gonzaga. Like that, I feel like propagated out of watching Candide ski. And like, I definitely didn't figure out about him until later in the game. It was probably when he was doing like the one of those days YouTube things.
Mm-hmm.
But I just dove into him hard and like love watching that guy ski. I think he's super cool because you can just tell that he like loves skiing. I feel like there's a lot of people that do it for like money or fame or whatever nowadays. And that dude just like straight up loves skiing. And I think that's super, super, super cool. Man, this is a really, really hard question to pick three people. I'm going to try and not pick like all celebrity people. So in lieu of that, Josh Dyack, I don't know how to say his name. I think that's it.
Okay.
He's like the backcountry skier for Solomon.
Gotcha.
Posts a ton on like Instagram and TikTok and stuff. He just skis some of the, like, again, trying to not do all celebrity people, because I could talk about like Alex Hall or Matei
Sammy
or
Carlson.
like Sammy Carlson.
Yeah.
Like I could talk about celebrities for days. But I feel like Josh isn't like a celebrity per se. I mean, he has a big following, but like I feel like most skiers maybe don't know who he is. Watching him is super cool. He breaks down a lot of his lines he does in the backcountry. He just goes and skis like really gnarly stuff and doesn't have like a TGR film crew waiting at the bottom with a medic, you know, like it's him with a GoPro. And that's kind of how I am in a lot of senses. And so I feel like I can, maybe relate's not the right word, because he's skiing some crazy stuff, but I can like at least understand his situation. And I just think what he's doing is super cool. For my third one, I'm going to go super local. Derek Allenbaugh, the guy I ski with all the time at Baker. He is one of the biggest reasons I have gotten good at skiing.
Okay.
I met him after I graduated from Western. He was just a hardcore skier. Fishes all summer up in Alaska doing commercial fishing, so he can ski all winter. And following him around at Baker has literally made me like the skier I am today.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you just go back and watch like my original YouTube videos or some of my older TikToks, like you can tell I was like okay at skiing, but I wasn't like a decent skier. And after following that kid for a year going on 2 now, I feel like I have just exploded in terms of what I'm able to do and what I confidently like jump into nowadays.
For sure, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
So those would be my 3. There's obviously a lot of people I could mention, but those would be my 3.
Yeah, I don't talk about skiers too much, but this might be a name that you recognize just because of the project that he's been working on for so long. Cody Townsend.
Oh yeah.
That's my dude.
Oh yeah.
I love his vibe. I love everything that he does.
Yep.
I religiously watch the 50 series and yeah, it's just so cool to watch.
Have you seen the one he did up in Shuckson?
Oh yeah.
At Mount Baker?
I've seen every single one, dude.
If you ever go to Mount Baker and look at Shuckson, you'd be like, how did he ski that? Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And I mean, you can tell in the video it was steep and it was gnarly, but like when you're there looking up at the mountain, you're like, I don't know how anybody would ever like fathom to ski that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of the mountain was, but he went to the tallest peak in Montana.
Okay.
That's out near Glacier, just south of the Glacier border from the national park. But it was like one of the longest hikes he's ever done. I think it was like 20 miles in. And it was like pouring rain. Yeah. And he went with
insane.
he went with a famous snowboarder, split boarder.
Okay.
And they did it together, but they were just like not having fun.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see like how hard it is to like get out there and try to get a line, even if it's terrible conditions. But
have you watched Nikolai Schirmer at all?
Oh yeah,
the Norwegian guy. Yeah, he's very similar to Cody Townsend. I feel like in a lot of ways. But I really like his like videography style and his storytelling. And I was just watching his video from Georgia the other day, rewatching it actually, and he just has a really cool like storytelling style.
Definitely,
but definitely does some missions like Cody that you're like, damn, dude, that's crazy.
You know, talking about like some of these videographers and stuff, you know, the person that really inspired me from the very start when I got back into snowboarding was, you know, Spenny.
Oh, yeah.
Gimbal God. And you got to meet Mr. Gimbal God. And I think we talked about, I met him in Stale too when I was at Hood, but you met him at Bachelor one day and got to ride the chair with him and hang out with him. What was that like?
Well, I want to hear your story on meeting him too, because I actually haven't heard the story.
So it was a year that Holy Bully was up at Timberline.
Yep.
And it was a really, really sick year. It was like sunny for most of the days. And I had seen the previous video he had put out was like when they had first gotten there. And I was like, oh crap, they're there. Like I didn't know that Stale and, you know, Spenny were going to be up at Timberline. And they said, we're going to be here for Holy Bully during their video. And I was like, okay, I got to go. And I wasn't working or anything. So I made it a point to go up one of these for Holy Bully. It was a sunny day. And so I'm riding around like, I'm seeing them on Instagram like, oh, we're over at the half pipe, you know, on Conways and riding Conways. So I'm like, I book it over to Conways, try to find them and hang out with them. Like, didn't find them. And then, you know, I'm like, I go up Holy Bully, go up the mile a few times, trying to see them, trying to like hang out by the bottom at the exit and stuff and try to catch them. And finally, I was just like, oh, I'm not going to catch him today. That's a bummer. Oh, well. So I'm like, okay, I'll take one last run up the mile. And I'm like getting onto the chair, and I'm like a single. And then all of a sudden, there's like nobody in line, right? And so they come screaming up behind me. Stale comes up, taps me on the shoulder. He's like, hey, man, can we ride the chair with you? And it's funny. He's like, yeah, can we ride the chair with you? He's like, yeah. It's like, let's go, dude. And then I get on the chair, and I'm like kind of freaking out. I'm like, holy shit, this is my favorite snowboarder of all time and my favorite like video content creator I've ever, seen. And I just started like, so how you guys doing?
Yeah.
Just start chatting them up, and they were so chill, dude. They were they were heading down to Bend the next day to go ride with like Ben Ferguson and some of the locals down there at an event. And I was like just chatting with them about Bend and about Hood and all this stuff. And they were super nice. And then we got to the top, and they're like, all right, we're going to go do a follow run. And I was like, cool, man. And they're like, you want to come? And I was like, I should have said yes, but I was like, nah, man, you guys have fun. Like,
oh man,
I don't want to tag along and slow you guys down. They're like, respect, dude.
Damn.
I was like, well, thanks for talking to us and telling us where to go. And because I told them like, because I was an Oregon native, and I was like, go here, get some good food, go there, go that. And they were like, thanks a lot for telling us about it. So
that's so sick.
Yeah, it was sick.
That's so sick.
Got a picture with Stale, and I was a happy dude after that, for sure.
Nice. I have found normally that the like upper level professional skiers and snowboarders are normally the chillest people ever.
Yeah.
Like the only people that are actually like rude are normally people that are in that like amateur tier. Like the upper level professional people are always like so kind.
Yeah.
And it's super cool to see.
Yeah.
Because I feel like not a lot of sports are that way.
Yeah. It's pretty hard to like be upset with your life when you get paid to
totally
go ride all the time.
But like that could also be said about football players. And there's a lot of ego in that. And there's a lot of people that are, not super nice. So I don't know. It's just cool to see that the sport still has people at the upper level that are like kind and will talk to people and hang out and still be chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was your experience though at Bachelor?
Mine was good. So I was visiting some friends. I have a couple friends that live in Bend. And I go see them at least once a year. My Icon Pass lets me ski there, thankfully. So that's always super nice to go skiing for free. But I was up with them, and they're like blue-green level skiers, which I will ski with anybody of any ability. Especially if it's not a powder day. So we're just like cruising around, and we come up to line at the whatever chair's off the Sunrise Lodge. I don't remember. It might be the Sunrise chair. And I see a guy 2 people ahead of us that's in a full Oakley kit with like the flame beanie on and goggles, no helmet, and a battalion snowboard. And I'm like, either this dude's cosplaying as like him, or it's actually Gimbal God. Like one of the two. And so we get on the chair, and I'm with my friends, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm pretty sure Gimbal God is 2 chairs in front of us. Like I'm like 90% sure, but I don't know why he'd be in Bend, because like this is not where he skis. But I told them like, if we get up there, I'm gonna go ski over to him and just like say hi. And I was like, if he offers to take a lap, like I'm taking off. You guys gotta like fend for yourselves. Go down the same run again. Like I'll catch you guys later. You guys gotta understand, because they would not have been able to keep up, and they like knew that.
Right.
And so, I skied over to him like you saw in the video, and I'm just like, dude, are you Gimbal God? And he like kind of laughs, and he's like, yeah, because I don't think he probably expected anybody to really recognize him, especially a skier.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, you're like totally one of my heroes. I've looked up to you for a long time. I'm also a videographer. Like, chatted with him for a little while. I don't remember exactly what was said, but the video's online.
Yeah. I'll have to go back and watch that again.
Yeah. And then he's like, hey man, like, I'm going to go try and find the terrain park. You want to come with me? And I was like, yes. So obviously camera is rolling, like follow him. This was before I really started doing anything in the terrain park. So I didn't have any tricks, which he was taking it pretty chill too. I think he did 1 360 on the last thing, but I was just like following him, jumping, kind of just like filming him. And then what was really cool was we got on the chair together, and we talked just cameras and social media, and I cut a lot of that out because I didn't think it would be super interesting to most people. I included a little bit of it, us talking about like the new phones and how good they are and some of the lenses he uses and stuff like that. But he was just so nice and so willing to imbue any knowledge that he had onto me without any strings attached. There was no like, you have to go buy my merch or you have to like do this. He just like wanted to share. Like he felt fortunate to be where he was at, and was willing to share any information I could gain from him. So we ended up riding up the chair. We got to the top. It was so foggy, one of those Bachelor days where you like can't even see your hand in front of you. and he's like, "Hey man, I think I'm gonna like go into the lodge for a couple hours. Like I have a big shoot coming up. I can't get hurt. I can't see." And I was like, "Okay." So we like skied that lap down together, said our goodbyes. Like that's when we're like fist bumping at the end of the video. And then I chatted with him a little bit over email because he was like, "Dude, email me. I want to chat with you a bit more." So we fired off some questions and talked to him a little bit. But just a super, super nice guy, like you were saying, like super stand-up guy.
Yeah, he is.
So yeah, it was really cool meeting him.
Yeah. I actually just watched one of his most recent video, and he's doing some pretty amazing stuff. Like he's working with GoPro and doing like a whole like lecture series, and like he's like Professor Gimbal God now for GoPro, which is super cool. So
cool. Well, I mean, he has and still gets the best shots of anybody I know.
It's
with
crazy.
GoPro.
Yeah.
Like some of his YouTube videos you're watching and you're like, is this shot on a Red camera? And it's a GoPro. Like he's got it on a pole. I'm like, this is insane.
He just knows so many crazy settings and
don't sweat the technique. Is
that
what we're saying? Don't sweat the technique.
Pretty much, dude. If you see how many like follow cam people there are now, it all pretty much stems from him. Yeah, it's him on snowboards. So
he started that whole wave, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's super cool to see, man. But yeah, dude. So let's talk your ski setup.
Oh, this is a great question.
Yeah, you mentioned Moment skis? Is that like your everydays right now, or is it something else?
So that's my touring setup.
Okay.
That Moment Death Wish. I used to have the Death Wishes as a downhill ski. I broke those a couple years ago. Ended up splitting them basically in half. So yeah, the Moments are my backcountry setup with a lightweight touring binding. They're a tour layup, so they're super light skis.
Cool.
Thank God, because I was on cast for a long time with Oneps, which is heavy.
Yeah.
Cast is great, but that plus inbounds Oneps was super heavy. So I still have those. Those are kind of I would call side country skis. So they're ON3P. God, what are they? They're the 110 Jeff 110.
Okay.
So like a great all mountain ski. They're bomber. I will probably pass those skis down to my grandchildren because they'll probably still be going at that rate.
Yeah.
They're just like such an indestructible ski, which now that I say that, of course, they're probably going to break this year. But yeah, those are great. And I have the cast set up on them so I can put skins and pins on and skin out. You don't really want to do it for a long distance, but little side country missions, building a boot or something like that, it's perfect. And then I still have the 1,000 skis. I have the Park Edition and the All Mountain Edition. Magnus sent me the All Mountains to do a video about, which was super cool. Probably one of my first ever, I feel like recognition in the ski industry of what I'm doing. I had made a video just talking about the parks because I got so many questions about them on TikTok, and they saw the video and they were like, "Dude, this is sick. Would you make another one if we sent you the All Mountains?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So that was super, super cool. The parks are 4 to 5 years old now, and they're peeling pretty bad at the tip. There's a little bit of core exposed in the metal edging. So those are probably going to be like rock skis for this season and probably wall skis as soon as the rock season's over. Pull the bindings off, putting them on something else. But yeah, I've got a pretty well-rounded setup. I've also got some Sago tater tots on my wall that need bindings, which I might rip the bindings off the parks and put them on those. Those are like a 120 underfoot, super wide, like 140 in the front tip and tail, symmetrical, like backcountry. Think of like the White Walkers, kind of like a super slashy, jibby, surfy backcountry ski.
Nice.
So I might get those mounted up and try and do those this year. But I'm also really hoping to like find a ski brand that I align with this season. And I've been talking with a couple in this off season. But finding one that I can make some videos about and get like all on their lineup would be really, really nice.
Very cool, man.
So that's one of my goals for the season, and we'll see.
Nice.
See what happens.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What's been the greatest experience so far, like in your career? Whether it be like the outerwear or, meeting Gimbal God, just what's been like the coolest thing that you've gotten to experience?
Yeah, I would say, and this is going to sound kind of sappy, but the coolest thing for me has been how many people I meet in the mountains that watch my stuff and know who I am and are excited to meet me. That has been so cool. I started doing this just because, like we talked about, I love just making videos.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd have like people running over to me, like asking about my outerwear and like wanting to ski with me. And like, the same feelings I had for Gimbal God, I feel like some people have for me. And that is so, so cool. Just like actually seeing the impact that you have on people's lives and the DMs I get from people about how much they love my videos. I feel like one of the biggest factors that has like kept me doing this, because obviously it hasn't taken off to the place that I would like it to be. But I have such a cool community of people that just like love me for who I am, that I just feel absolutely blessed. And that has been like the coolest part for me.
That's excellent, dude.
Yeah.
Great. Bucket list backcountry trip with all-time conditions. Where are you going, and who are the 3 people you're taking with you?
Oh, wow. I'm going to lose some. Oh, sorry. I'm going to lose some friends if I answer the 3 people.
All right, we'll just do the trip.
Yeah, let's just do the trip. I'm going to lose some friends if I have to pick 3. Wow. Backcountry trip. There are so many places. This season, I'm looking at going to southeastern Montana.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm really excited about that. Hopefully putting together a trip with the crew to go out there. That will be really cool.
What's that mountain range out there? Is that the...
I don't remember. There's a guy that has a cabin way up high in the mountains that reached out to me and wants me to come out.
Sweet.
So that's like one of the opportunities that hopefully we're going to capitalize on this season. And hopefully talking about that doesn't cancel this deal. I would think the free promotion would be accepted by him. But if I had to choose anywhere, the best place I've ever skied is Valdez, Alaska.
Okay.
And I would probably go back there, like go to Thompson Pass or something. The skiing out there is unreal. You know, they have that coastal snowpack like Mount Baker and, you know, Crystal and like all the places that I grew up. But the mountains are taller. The snow is colder, so it's drier. You know, it's not super wet and packed, but they just get a lot of it. And it is just such a cool place. I would love to go back there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's an interesting answer.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not as far as Alaska, but going back.
Yeah.
Have you been to Japan?
I actually just bought a flight to Japan for this winter.
Okay.
So I'm actually going there this
You're
winter.
about to go nuts.
Yes.
If they're getting their Japan cycle.
Yep. I'm going for Japanuary with my buddy Wyatt. So.
And then another one that a lot of people will say, well, it's probably my top besides Japan, is probably going to Baldface.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
That would be really, really cool.
And going experiencing that. So,
Totally.
But yeah.
Totally.
But yeah, that's cool. Like you find a good place, you go back to Valdez and...
Well, and I have like all my buddies from Mount Baker that made movies, all the Jim Bob's powder production guys, which is that sticker there, they all moved out to Alaska. And like I could meet up with them and have such a cool trip out there. And that's why it's like the front of my mind. There's obviously a lot of places I'd like to go. I'd love to ski in Europe. I would absolutely love to ski in like Norway and that kind of area. Because they have super cool stuff. Like there's plenty of places I could pick, but
the vastness of like going to Alaska and how many lines you can get is probably out of this world.
How steep it is, all the spines, the snow, the conditions. Like I don't know. In my mind, there's just like not a lot of places in the world like Valdez that have that kind of drop, that kind of terrain, that kind of snow consistently. Like I can't think of a lot of other places that have that.
Yeah, I've only seen videos, so it's up there too for
awesome,
me.
Man.
For
it's
sure.
Awesome.
What is currently the worst trend in winter sports? Skiing. Well, we say snowboarding usually, but skiing or snowboarding.
Worst trend can be anything. Is this like fashion trend?
It could be a fashion. It could be the hate,
anything?
the people that just like to hate on people. It could be really anything. Something that you've seen because you're in the industry.
Yeah.
That just is like, I could do without that.
One of the things I don't like, which I feel like is changing, is the whole spin to win thing.
Okay.
I know it's really hard to do 4 or 5 rotations in the air. I know that's really hard. I'm not discounting that at all. I know that like people train their entire lives and they're like risking their lives doing these tricks. Like I know that, I understand that. But to me as a viewer and a fellow skier, it feels like I'm watching Olympic gymnastics.
Right.
Like, you know, the skiing element has been like a little lost on me in those kind of events. 'Cause there's just like, I don't know. There's like so much of, I feel like the culture and the actual like essence of skiing lost when it's just like who can do the biggest spin and who can do the most rotations and, you know, train on a trampoline for 9 months and then strap your skis on and, you know, see what happens and hope you don't die. I'm really excited because I feel like a lot of people feel that same way as well. And there's a lot of competitions coming out now that are like more free ride style focused, which the problem with that is it's really hard to judge. Like, how do you judge, you know, this guy's 360 versus that guy's 360? It's obviously way easier when you're just like, well, he did one more rotation, so like he gets a better score than him. But I'd really like to see a place in the industry where like there are events where, you know, style is factored in and that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Because for me personally, I will never do a triple cork.
No.
Like, I know that's not in the cards for me and I don't have any interest, but like, I would love to do a steezed out cork 7, you know, like a cork 7 blunt would be like my dream trick.
Right.
But I don't really have any interest in going over that amount of spins, you know.
Yeah.
And I would love to see a competition that like has those kind of elements.
Yeah.
That
I
kind
feel
of
like
stuff.
it's starting to come back.
I think it is.
And I think it's cool, like the mindset of some of these like new up and coming riders in both skiing and snowboarding.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, okay, I can combine this trick with this trick, and I can invent a new trick that's never been done.
Totally.
And everyone wants to get the MBDs, so
Totally.
that's kind of, and those get judged like crazy high now.
Yep.
When you have a trick of your own.
Totally.
So
Totally.
that's what's
That's
up.
what I'm saying. We're definitely moving in a good direction. I just haven't liked the previous couple years where it's just been heavy spins.
Definitely.
And not discounting those athletes at all. That's impressive, and I will never do something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway,
It's crazy. Yeah.
it is crazy.
Maybe the crazy spins with another rotation is I feel like it's almost started like it's fine and dandy like in competition, but now it's almost starting to be like it's like a one-time thing and it's like a clip, you know, like, and then it gets sent out to Red Bull or whatever, and then that's really what gains the traction now. Like you
Totally.
see like a 2160 or something on a snowboard in Saas-Fee, and it's like blows up all over the world,
Totally.
and is covered by news outlets and all this crazy stuff. So that's kind
Totally.
of cool. But
And that is really cool.
Yeah.
That is really, really
but
cool.
yeah, the competition, I agree with you. Like, let's get back to some more style points
And
for everybody.
It's hard because how do you not be biased, you know? I mean, obviously the people commentating are like fans like you and I.
Yeah.
And how do you not be biased of like, oh my God, I love Henrik, and you give him a better score or something like that,
Yeah.
you know? Like, it's so hard, and I get it's easier to grade spins and just count the number and give this guy a score and that guy a score, but I don't know. I'm confident that we're going to find some middle ground. That the industry will settle and find some kind of middle ground in that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Craig McMorris because he is just, whenever you get to hear him announce something, he's just so technically, he knows every single thing.
Totally.
And so he kind of can judge because
Totally.
he's a snowboarder too.
Totally.
And his brother is one of the greatest of all time. So yeah, that's what's cool. All right, some rapid fire for you, dude.
Oh, here we go.
Pants or bibs?
Used to be a bib guy. Now I'm a pants guy.
Okay,
No more on the bibs.
cool. What's the base layer you're rocking? You going ninja suit or just some regular stuff?
I have some old REI base layer for my pants.
Gotcha.
And some old like smart wool base layer for my top.
Okay.
I don't think base layer. There are a lot of things in skiing that I don't think is like super important as long as you have something. Base layers is one of those things.
Okay.
I don't know how important updating that would be. Maybe it would help, but I've never been cold so far. So
You know, Josh
on
put
wood.
me when I moved up here and got to Schweitzer. Josh put me on the ninja suit game
like them.
by Air Blaster. Won't ever go back, dude.
Really?
Just
Yeah,
a
100
one piece.
100%.
I've seen them. I've seen them before.
It's just so easy too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then we've been instructors for so long, and then like it's just one of those things where you sometimes you can't go and change something,
Okay.
because you're just out there and you have to be out there because you want to be out there, and it's like I just feel like ninja suits allow you to be able to just continue to be out there without having to worry about it.
I've never
Interesting.
gotten cold.
Interesting.
Yeah, because and basically I'm rocking my ninja suit and then pants for my bottom layer, just like a shell pant.
Yeah.
And then the only thing I really wear on top of my ninja suit is usually like maybe a long sleeve or a t-shirt.
Oh wow.
And then my
Same.
shell over that, never
Same.
gotten cold.
Same.
Wow.
Not once.
100%.
So the quality in the gear.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Well, I might have to check them out. Maybe it's time to
One
update.
day, dude.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's
we'll
time to
see.
update.
Yeah. Goggles or glasses?
Wow, people really ride in glasses? I guess
Oh,
they
yeah.
do. I guess
Oh,
they
yeah.
do.
Yeah,
I guess they
Sunny's a
do.
big,
So the
Some
young kids
backcountry
these days are
people.
loving their sunnies
Sunny's a
dude,
big thing.
all day.
No, I'm wearing goggles. I'm
Yeah, me
sorry.
too.
I'm wearing
Even on a
goggles.
hot day.
Yeah. I mean, I'll throw sunnies on. Like I'll throw my big mountain bike sunglasses on if I'm like touring. But I got the goggles in the bag.
Yeah.
That I'm going to throw on for the
Always.
downhill. Like,
Yeah.
unless it's a really short lap, I'm throwing the goggles on it.
I'm like that too. Like if I'm setting up like still shots or anything like that, I'll be wearing my sunglasses all
Yeah.
day. But as soon as I'm like follow camming somebody, I gotta have goggles.
Yeah, that wind's going around the glasses right into my eye.
Oh yeah, and it makes my like eyes tear up and stuff. I hate it.
Oh yeah.
So goggles over under the helmet.
You know, I was always an over the helmet guy for like many, many years. And then for some reason at Baker, I switched to under and I can't go back.
Yes. Team under.
I can't go back. I don't know really why I even switched. I don't even really remember. I think my helmet was a little too big. And so I was just like, maybe I'll put the goggles under and like wear a beanie.
Yep.
And now I'm like, I will never go back to putting them over.
That setup is all time.
Dude, it's great. And when you want to take them up, just like pushing the whole setup up like this is so much nicer than like pulling the goggles up and they flip back and like hit the person behind you in the face. Like, I don't know. I'm preaching to the choir here, but
we definitely rock under.
Yeah. I just get so hot that when I get on the chair, my helmet comes off, dude. And I'm letting my head breathe for a little bit.
Totally.
And then I'll put it back on once I get about midway up. And
I also just find that my goggles like sit better that way as well. They stay down and they don't like ride up and like push my helmet up. So I don't know. I really like it.
What speaking of goggles, what's your goggle brand? What are you rocking?
I've worn a lot of different things. I've worn Smith, I've worn Oakley's. Right now, what I'm using is a brand that originally shipped me them to do some brand work for them, and then we never ended up doing it. So I actually just dyed the band black, so you can't see the brand name, because I was like, I'm not going to promote them for free. So I'm just using some like random Instagram brand that hit me up, and I literally just dyed the lens or the band black. But they work super well. They've been working well for me. So. No complaints.
Lots of people making goggles these days.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. There's so many.
Gloves or mittens?
I am a big glove guy. Fall line Hestras are my like. That's all I'll ever buy.
Nice.
That's it. I got to have my fingers for the camera and everything.
Very cool.
Are you a mittens guy?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I have these mittens that that actually Casey Willax is sponsored by, but they're called Candy Grinds.
Okay.
And my favorite ones they're like leather mittens, but they have a zipper here, like right here on the hand that opens and closes, so I can take out my 4 fingers and I can do everything I need to do on cameras or phone or anything like that, and then I throw them back in, zip them up when it's time to go.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep. They have some pretty cool gloves and mittens at Candy Grind.
Okay.
And they're made in the USA in Colorado.
Okay.
So
sweet.
Pretty cool company.
Sweet.
So let's see. Oh yeah. So stormy pow day or sunny slush park day?
Wow. That's a really good question. As I've alluded to earlier, I have never really been a park skier. I feel like I just kind of started dipping my toes into it. This year, Owen and Connor, I feel like, really pushed me.
Yeah.
My friend Derek pushed me a little bit as well to kind of start sending in the park. So I'm going to have to go with Stormy Pow Day.
Okay.
That's what I'm used to between Schweitzer and Baker. That's kind of all we get is Stormy Pow Days. So that's where I feel most at home.
Nice.
But both of them are so good.
I
mean, both of them, hard to compare the two. It's apples to oranges.
Yeah.
They're both good for different reasons.
Yeah, it's always nice at the end of the season to get those nice warm days.
Totally.
Where you can show up late and just run the park and it's like 50 degrees outside.
And everybody's hanging out. You see all your buddies.
Yep.
Like it's
the
awesome.
filmers are all out.
Oh, yeah.
The vibes are high. So pretty fun.
Yeah.
You rocking earbuds?
I actually do not ski with earbuds.
Okay.
I have tried a couple times. It throws me completely off, so I normally do not. There will be every once in a while I'll throw in wired headphones, but I would say 95% of the time I am not.
Okay, cool. What's your favorite ski video part?
Wow. That's going to be a really hard question for me to answer because there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good ones. That's going to be really hard. You
can give a few.
I'm going to, you know what? I'm just going to give a shout out to the boy again, Derek Allenbaugh. Made a film called Love to Death. And it's about him and his friend Josh. It's about kind of their hometown and that kind of stuff. It's a lot of FPV and POV shots. And for the people that are viewing this, if you haven't seen that one, look it up on YouTube. That is a super, super cool film. There are plenty of other ones that I could plug. I could basically handpick any one of Sammy C's films, and it could be a top ranker. But
Sure.
I'm going to give some plug to the local boy.
Excellent.
So that's going to be my favorite for today.
Very cool, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Josh, thanks for sticking it out with us. Thanks for producing, bro.
Yeah.
It's good to be back in the booth, and thanks again, man.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Thank you to Clint for
Yeah.
driving down today and joining us. Thank
Thanks
you
for
for your
having me
time,
on.
man.
Man,
All right.
time flies when you're having fun. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's super fun, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's been our latest episode of Let's Talk Skiing today with our boy Clint Tosland, and we're going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.